Welcome back to my channel. I'm Heather Corinne, and today we're going to be crocheting the pot portion for these tiny potted plants. This video is designed as a visual tool to go along with the written pattern, so please check out the written pattern that is linked in the description box below. We're going to be using a size G or 4mm crochet hook and some worsted weight yarn for this project. So we're going to be starting out with some light brown yarn, and we're going to create a magic circle. For round 1, we're going to place 6 single crochet inside this magic circle. And then we'll pull the magic circle tight. For round 2, we're going to increase in each stitch around, so that's going to be 2 single crochet in 1 stitch in every stitch around. That's going to be a total of 12 stitches for round 2. I'll go ahead and pop in a stitch marker so that we can keep our stitch count. And then just continue placing 2 single crochet in each stitch until we arrive back at the stitch marker, and we should be able to count a total of 12 stitches from the start of the stitch marker until the other side of the stitch marker. All right, here we are at the end of round 2. We're going to move on to round 3, which is going to be increase in the first stitch. So that's 2 single crochet in the first stitch. Pop the stitch marker back in to the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. So increase, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. At the end of round 3, we should have a total of 18 stitches. Okay, for round 4, we're going to start working on moving up the side of the pot, if that makes sense. So this is the bottom of it. So for the next round, which is round 4, we're going to be working in the back loop only. So you can see there's 2 loops. The front one is closest to you, the back one is furthest from you. So we're going to single crochet in the back loop only in each stitch around. So put the hook into the back loop, single crochet all the way around the outside of the pot. So we'll have a total of 18 stitches for round 4. And if yours is like mine, you can see it's starting to curl inward the wrong direction. So just make sure you flip it out so that the right side of the work is on the outside. So now you can see we've got the bottom of the pot and it's starting to work up the sides into a 3D project. For round 5, we're going to increase again. So that's going to be both loops this time. Place 2 single crochet in the same stitch for an increase. Pop our stitch marker back in, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then repeat. Increase, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch. We're going to keep going like this all the way around. At the end of round 5, we should have 24 stitches. So rounds 6 through 8, so that's going to be round 6, round 7, and round 8, we're going to single crochet in each stitch around. So single crochet, pop in the stitch marker, and then continue single crocheting all the way around. So that's 24 stitches per round. And we're going to use these 3 stitch markers to keep our place for all 3 rows. So I'll catch you back at the end of round 8. Okay, so now we have rounds 6, 7, and 8. We're going to pull out all 3 of these stitch markers. For round 9, we're going to decrease. So you can do a normal decrease or you can do an invisible decrease. I'm going to do an invisible decrease, which is insert into the front loop only 2 together. So pop in our stitch marker. And then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and we're going to repeat all the way around. So I'm going to decrease, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to keep on going. So decrease and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. At the end of round 9, we should have a total of 18 stitches. Our last round for the pot is going to be round 10. We're going to single crochet in each stitch using the front loop only. So we used the back loop earlier. This time we're using the front loop. So we're going to single crochet, pop in the stitch marker, and continue to single crochet all the way around in the front loops only. As you can see, this is starting to make sort of a rim for the top of the pot. If you're enjoying this tutorial, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. At the end of round 10, we should have 18 stitches total. We're going to remove the stitch marker and slip stitch into the net stitch, front loop. And I like to chain one to fasten off, but that is optional. And then cut off with a long enough tail to be able to weave in the end and pull through that last chain stitch. So pulling through a chain secures it from coming unraveled, so I don't have to tie a knot anywhere else on this tail. So here we have our little pot. The bottom is flat and we've got a nice little ridge at the top. We're going to make sure this magic circle is still pulled tight and then stuff that tail down in there. And then using a yarn needle, just going to weave this tail down into the center of the pot a little bit. So you can trim off the excess yarn if you want to, but I just leave it in there and use the tails as stuffing. So now we have our tiny little pot that can be used for any type of crochet plant or succulent. This step is optional, but if you want to, trace a piece of cardboard, something like a cereal box, and cut out a circle that fits the bottom of the pot. And then if you place it down inside there, it keeps the bottom flat after you've added all of the stuffing. If you would like to add a face to the pot, I'm using 9mm safety eyes, counting down 4 rounds from the top. I'm popping in a safety eye, and then 4 stitches in between, place the other safety eye. I'm going to put the backs on, but not pressed all the way down, so just pop in through that first end of the safety eye so that we can still work around the eyes without them being super tight yet. To add the eyelashes and the mouth, we're going to use some black embroidery floss. There are 6 strands within this embroidery floss, so we're going to use 3 of them, and if you gently pull them apart, they don't get tangled. I'm going to use my yarn needle, but this might be easier if you had a more traditional sized needle, so feel free to switch it up. To create the eyelashes, we're going to make a V shape to the edge of the safety eye. And then I'm just going to do the same thing to the other side. And the mouth is also going to be a V shape, but just a little bit wider. The trick with these is not to pull too tight when you're stitching so that you can still see the embroidery floss. Now we're going to flip it inside out and tie these two tails together. Gently tying them together so that we're not pulling the face tight. I lost one of the backs of the safety eyes, so now I'm going to pop them all the way on so that they're nice and secure. And if you'd like to add some rosy cheeks, we're going to be using a light pink color of embroidery floss. All 6 strands. We're not going to pull this one apart. We're going to come in to the bottom of the eye towards the outside of the face and just go across one stitch 2 times. So we're going to make 2 pass-throughs over the same stitch. And repeat on the other side. Once again, we're going to flip it inside out in order to tie them together. But if you've pulled them too tight, you can usually stick your needle underneath and pull it out just a little bit so that they're nice and prominent. And now our cute little face is complete. The last step for this pot is going to be making the dirt that we attach the leaves of our plants to. So we're going to use some dark brown yarn and create a magic circle. For round 1, we're going to place 6 single crochet inside the magic circle. And then pull the magic circle tight. For round 2, we're going to increase in each stitch around. So we should have a total of 12 stitches for round 2. Round 3, we're going to increase in the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. We're going to repeat that all the way around. So increase, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. That should be a total of 18 stitches for round 3. Now we're going to slip stitch and chain 1 and tie off with a long enough tail that you can attach the dirt to the pot. I'm going to pull this magic circle really tight and then weave in the beginning tail. So after you've made any kind of leaves and attached them to the dirt, you're going to use the long tail and the inside stitches of the pot to attach the leaves and the dirt to the pot. So you should have 18 stitches on the dirt and 18 stitches on the inside of the pot. So that front loop only situation that we did at the end of the pot should have an inner lip where you can stitch the dirt to the inside. And you would repeat like that all the way around until it was completely attached. And that completes our tutorial for the tiny pot and the dirt for our tiny potted plants.